My name is Maurizio. I'm a Google developer expert for web technologies. I'm a Microsoft MVP as well, for the same reason. And I'm the founder of Milano.js. Milano.js is the largest JavaScript community in Italy so far. And I started an event called JS Girls that aims to involve more women in technology in JavaScript development. In my spare time, I work as a manager in Accenture. So follow me on Twitter if you are curious, if you want to know if Accenture will fire me for this joke. So why progressive web apps? So first of all, I'm a really big fan of standards. So, you know, the JavaScript environment is really huge nowadays. We have a lot of framework, a lot of tools, and it's not easy to choose what to learn. But with standard, it's different because, you know, framework and tools come and go really fast, but standards are here to stay. So I will bet on standards. And progressive web app is one of the features of the web that I like the most. But the main reason why I'm talking about progressive web app is because they has been defined lately like the most exciting thing that happened to the web since Ajax. That's impressive, isn't it? Actually, I said that, but trust me. So let's see what the main feature of progressive web app are. So we have the ability to work offline. So offline navigation is a thing now with leveraging the service worker and the cache API. So we can navigate even offline. This is a great experience for our user. We can receive push notification and you know, give a better engagement. We can use the background sync. This means we can do some stuff when we are offline and finish the stuff when we are back online. Let's say I'm filling a form, and I can fill the form even if I am offline, and I can send it. Of course, the payload will not reach the server, but when I come online again, the payload will send to the server, and we can notify the user that this just happened. And last but not least, we had the opportunity to add the app icon to our home screen. So it's like a lightweight installation of our app. But there's more. There's a lot more feature we can use, like Bluetooth API, USB, NFC, and stuff like that. Those features allow us to talk, to connect to other devices. Of course, we can use with the web API, camera, microphone, so all the media stuff. But there is more. Apart from offline and background sync, we have the new payment API and the credential API that give you a really seamless experience. So that's a lot of feature. I know you're all excited about this feature, but a couple of weeks ago, I gave a talk at the DroidCon, that is an Android conference, and people reacted like that. This because most of the people tend to, you know, compare progressive app with mobile native app. But from my point of view, this is wrong, because progressive web apps are not only mobile. Progressive web apps are a website, a web application, responsive, so we can start from our single page application to build our progressive web app. Lately, Microsoft announced that the first Windows 10 progressive web app are now available on the Microsoft Store. So you can install like a desktop app on Windows 10, a progressive web app. This means that progressive web apps are really cross-platform, and this is huge. So what we'll do today is try to transform a simple SPA into a progressive web app. How we do that? We will use an approach that is similar to TDD. I think you all know what TDD is, right? And I know you write tests in every application. That was the funny part of the talk. Anyway, for do that, we will use Lighthouse. That is a super cool tool built by Google. Lighthouse has been released as a Chrome plugin at the beginning and as a CLI tool. So we can use in the browser or in our terminal this tool to check if the feature we are check pass those tests. So lately, Chrome implement Lighthouse directly into your browser, so you can find Lighthouse right under the Audit tab. You can check a lot of things, so not just the progressive web app stuff. We can run audits about performance, best practice, accessibility, and stuff like that. Today we will just focus on the progressive web app part. Yesterday, last night, at Google I/O, that is happening right now, Google launched the 3.0 version of Lighthouse with more feature, etc. So, talk is cheap. Show me the code. Who said that? Yes. Okay. So we have this really simple single page application. We run the audits. The application is really simple. It's just a single page application built with vanilla JavaScript, so nothing fancy. And let's see what happened. Okay, we have 6 failed audits. The first one is that we are not registering a service worker. So let's do that. Okay, now I am in my entry point for my application, is main.js. So before I'm going to register the service worker, I will make sure that it works on all browsers, or at least that these will not break things. So we can say if service worker is present in the global navigator object, we can say navigator dot service worker dot register, and we pass as the first argument our service worker. The service worker is a standalone file. It works, it runs in another thread, so it doesn't affect the main thread of JavaScript. JavaScript is still a single thread, but the service worker works in another thread. The register method returns a promise. So we can say something like that. And we can catch the errors. Okay, of course we need to create our service worker. So we create a new file called sw.js, and I need to modify my webpack config because I need to move my file. I can't edit the file. Perfect. Nice. Okay, let's pray the demo gods together, please. It's not working. Nice. Yeah, this works sometimes. It works? Really? Okay. Typos. Okay, let's see what happened. We can now run the audit again. Let's see if my service worker get registered or not. Hope so. Please still continue to pray the demo gods in the meantime. Yes. So our first audit just passed. We successfully register a service worker. But of course, we are doing nothing with the service worker. So the second audit that is failing is because we are not responding with 200 to the request. So we need to make the website or part of the website to work offline. So what we need in this case is to cache just the app shell of the application. So the header, the file, the assets, so main CSS, main JavaScript, and stuff like that. So we can do that in our service worker. Okay. First of all, let's create our cache. And files to cache. Files to cache is an array of strings, so you can't use stuff like regex, globbing, and so on. So I'm going to cache my index, my Lighthouse image, and my bundle.js, and of course my main CSS. Okay. So service worker and the cache API have a really neat API. It's based on events and promise. So if you are familiar with promise and events, you're good to go. So the first event we are going to listen is the install event. Okay. In the install event, we can use event wait until. Wait until is a method that will make sure that all the stuff you are doing inside of it are done before the install event is actually terminated. So we will use the global object caches. It comes from the new cache API, and we open a new cache passing the name of the cache. This will return a promise with a cache, and at this point we can add all our files to cache. Okay, let's see if this works as well. So it's praying time. Of course, this will not check our audit list because we are not using the cache yet. So we are just creating the cache, and we will check in the application tab if the cache is actually there. Here we go. A little buggy, but it's there. So of course there can be only one cache with the given name, but this tool is sometimes buggy. And we have all our resources in our cache, and this is cool. So we can go and try to listen to another event, that is the fetch event. I will explain better later what this event do. And at this time we can say event respond with, so we can respond with everything, even just a hello world string with a new response. But what we want to do now is respond with the cache if the request match what we have in the cache. So we try to get this match, and then we get a response, hopefully, and we can return the response in case there is a match, or we can just forward the user request with the fetch method like this. Okay, looks good to me. Let's run the tool again. So what service worker do is to intercept every request the client do. So every request is intercept if we are listening to the fetch event. What we are doing now is responding with the cache if the cache is present, is there is a match between the request and the file we have in the cache. And it's worked. So our page now hopefully works offline. Okay. So let's go back to the slides. Not with the share button. Okay. You have to pray harder, guys. Come on. Yeah, that's my lucky day. Exactly. Okay. We are almost there. Don't worry. I'm sure. Okay, so what we just do, like I said, the service worker is like a proxy between the client and the server. So the service worker will intercept all the requests the client do. What is the cache API? The cache API is totally different from the API, the browser API we use every day, because like you know, sometimes the time between the request and the response from the server takes times. So even though my resources are in the cache, in my browser, on my computer, I need to wait for the server response to serve them. But with the cache API, this is totally different, because I don't need to wait for the server response to respond with a cached file. Let's go back to Lighthouse and let's try to finish our application. So what we can do now is to generate a web app manifest. Web app manifest is useful because it contains some information about the application. It's like a package JSON, and it allows us to add to the home screen our application. So let's grab an icon. Let's put some information in here. We choose the display mode like standalone. We can generate the zip, and this will generate all the icon in different resolution. This is really handy. Okay, of course I have already there my manifest. Okay. All right. Let's move the images as well. Okay. So what we need to do now is to, of course, call our manifest from our index HTML. Oops. Okay. So let's see if that works. Keep raining. Okay, Lighthouse is warming up, so it's okay. I have just 5 minutes. Perfect. I don't know. It was fast at home. No. Okay, that's a problem, because I know the reason. Yes, I need to copy the file to my dist folder, or it will never work. Manifest JSON. Okay, let's do a quick build. Let's run again Lighthouse, and let's see if you're lucky enough this time. This time is super fast. Come on, come on. You can do it. Okay, that's worked. So we just need to check the last audit. This is really easy. We just need to add a meta name to have our address bar to match our branding color. So this is really fast and simple to do. Meta name, team, color, content, and I like black. So that's it. Quick build, and for the last time we run this super fast tool. Lighthouse do a lot of warming up. Interesting. The problem of live demo is I can't say works my computer because this is actually my computer. So come on, come on. Finger crossed. Okay, we are there. We've done it. So, slides are warming up as well. Browser support. So this is one of my favorite slides because it's the slide in which I do jokes about Microsoft. But this time I can't, because Microsoft did really a good job on progressive web apps. They implement service worker, the new cache API, push notification, and they are working on background sync, so they are really cool guy. Chrome, we know, and Opera share the same engine, so it works. Firefox support most of the specification, but Safari, even though they a couple of weeks ago they supported the service worker and the cache API, there are a lot of stuff to check, because they put a limit on the size of the file you can cache. And the worst things is that iOS will free up the cache after some week. We don't know how many weeks, but this really sucks. They didn't implement the background sync. They didn't really implement the push notification, and at home screen is a simple thing, but on iOS is really a mess. It takes like 3 taps to add an icon on your screen. That's not good. But the future looks bright. All the browser vendor implements some of the feature of a progressive web app, so you have no more excuse. Go and build your PWA. Thank you very much.